If football is viewed as a clash of similar and dissimilar ideas in motion, logically, one can infer that pressing traps, seen through this lens, exemplify this sentiment perfectly. Pressing traps are not new to football. Rather, they have been used for decades all around the world of football, with each football season showcasing new tweaks, which continue to evolve the way and manner pressing traps are used or executed by club and national football teams. In this video, we will be looking at the different types of pressing traps in use today by the best teams in the world, with a view to helping you understand them better and apply them in your own team. Everyone who has seen at least 10,000 hours of football already knows what pressing traps are, but for those who need to be reminded, here's a working definition of the concept. A pressing trap is a tactical move used during the defensive phase to lure opponents into predictable zones with minimal options to progress play, after which possession can easily be regained through coordinated pressure. Traditionally, this meant forcing play toward the touchline, where passing options shrink and pressing intensity peaks. Though there are different kinds, the general idea behind any type of pressing trap is always to force the opposition into a position of disadvantage through the illusion of choice. However, it is important to note that before adopting any pressing trap for a game, the team must study and fit the trap to counter the opponent's style of play. This will enable everyone on the team recognize the cues and pressing triggers to watch out for while the game is ongoing. Moving forward, let's take a quick look at 5 different types of pressing traps. The touchline trap. This is perhaps the commonest pressing trap still in use today. Teams organize their press centrally to direct play towards the fullbacks, who they then press with intensity as they attempt to receive the ball. The reduced space available to the fullbacks, coupled with the aggressive pressing, usually places them at a disadvantage, which results in loss of possession through a number of ways. 1. Missed control. 2. Misplaced short pass. 3. Misplaced long ball. In theory, the touchline trap remains one of the safest and most popular pressing traps to execute because the touchline basically acts as an extra defender for the pressing team. The pivot trap. As defenders improve on the ball and fullbacks evolve from traditional roles, traditional traps are easier to escape. So, coaches are redesigning pressing traps, not with more intensity, but with more deception. Like the touchline trap, the pivot trap seeks to funnel play to a part of the pitch where possession can easily be regained as the opponent begins their build-up. Unlike the touchline trap, it directs play centrally from the touchline towards defensive midfielders or inverted centre-backs positioned in the half spaces or central zones. Ideally, these players would be receiving the ball with their back to pressure, making it easier for them to be dispossessed. The weak link trap. Very little separate football teams these days, especially top teams, who can rival each other in resources and football knowledge. This also shows up on the pitch, where teams counter each other's strategies like a chess game between two grandmasters. This is where the weak link trap comes in. As the saying goes, you're only as strong as your weakest link. If any player amongst your fielded 11 can be exploited with focus pressing, while your team is in possession, the best teams will know and use it to their advantage. This could be a goalkeeper, a centre-back, or any player in an outfield position. Similar to the pivot trap, the weak link trap targets a specific position, but is not limited to pressing that player in a specific zone of the pitch. To execute it, the pressing team encourage passes from the team through their pressing shape towards the player who has been identified as the weak link, and then swarm said player from all sides with maximum aggression. This can continue all game long until the player begs to be substituted or the team finds a workaround the pressing tactic. The phantom bait. Every press usually carries in it an element of deception. The phantom bait is based solely on creating misdirection through illusion and thereby inventing panic in the ball carrier's mind. It is this manufactured panic that precedes the pressing trap, which is subsequently exploited. This is how the phantom bait plays out on the pitch. A pressing player uses body language to suggest they are closing down, provoking the opponent into a panic sideways or backward pass. At that moment, the real trap is triggered by supporting players who swarm the ball recipient aggressively. The rotational decoy. The phantom bait leads us directly to another pressing trap we'll be looking at today, the rotational decoy, which is as risky to execute as it is uncommon. Rotations in football are most commonly associated with the attacking phase of the game, where teams can rely on their use to break down opposition defensive lines by creating space and passing options. Interestingly, it appears rotations are equally useful when defending, and teams can use them to ensnare opposition into giving the ball away. To execute the rotational decoy, a unit of players are expected to carry out a synchronized rotation with the object of leaving a passing lane or opposition player free. If the opposition makes the choice of choosing to pass into the newly opened space or free player, the space and player gets aggressively pressured by another rotating player unseen to the ball carrier. The goal kick funnel. For our bonus item, we present the goal kick funnel. This usually takes place during a goal kick and is aimed at presenting the goalkeeper with one safe option for a pass. Once the goalkeeper makes the intended choice, the defending team spring into action and press the receiver aggressively to win possession. Football is bound to continue evolving, and this means certain tactics eventually become obsolete or predictable. Unpredictability is the mainstay of football serial winners. The best football coaches are those who continue to build deception into their pressing styles, winning the ball through the creation of illusions, not just intensity. Remember, keep pressing, continue creating the best illusions, and before long, your team will start to gather real points. Until we come around next time, tell us how many of these pressing traps you have tried with your team this season.